for Grinder Greggy's former seat, Division 2. And mainly that is just simply screwing the poor. Screwing the poor. Mainly it's screwing the poor for failure to register a motor vehicle and for failure to have proof of insurance. This is where the cops go after people driving old cars, where essentially they go to Car Mart because they can't get in their car. They pay $5,000 for an $800 car, and then they don't have the money to pay the sales tax on it, and they get licensed, tagged, and inspected. Because hey, 5,000, what? 8% of 5,000 is what? $400. You can buy a really, really, really crappy car for $400. So they go to Car Mart and they get these temporary paper tags, which last a month, and at the end of the month they don't have any money because they have to pay the first month's payment, they have to pay the rent, they have to pay food for the children. So they don't have the ability to go ahead and register that motor vehicle, much less to pay for insurance. So that's what Division 2, just like they do with Steve White here at the Granby Municipal Cash Register Court. They pull someone over, find out they don't have the money because they had to pay for food, or they had to pay for their children's medical bills, or they had to pay for whatever. And folks, that is we live in a plutocracy to where the rich go ahead and suck everything out, and destroy the middle class, and they destroy the poor. They eat the poor. That's what they do. And what they then do here is that, of course, they're found guilty of not having insurance, and they get found guilty of failure to register their precious motor vehicle that you bought at Car Mart for $5,000. They ain't worth $800. And so then they are harassed and harassed and harassed. Give me money, give me money, give me money, give me money. Just nothing more than cash register court. And that is mainly what old Grinder Greggy did. But now he wants to be head of the circuit. He wants to go ahead and really screw everybody. So who's going to take place? Well, Christine Rose. She's so proud of being an children's advocate, which means baby stealer. That's what she did. I'm happy she has 2 children. She has 2 children. According to the law, if they believe that somebody has molested their own children, there's supposed to be an investigation. They take the children, but there's supposed to be an investigation within 30 days and a report within 90. Well, what they did is that they got a hold of all 4 children, and I've seen the paperwork. Took 2 months, around 2 months, for them to get my slightly retarded grandson to supposedly claim that I was, on July 5th, 15th of 2004, that supposedly I was licking my nasty, fat stepdaughter's butt cheeks and crack. Now, that is totally unbelievable. I don't think that even her boyfriends or her meerkats have ever licked her nasty crack. And I certainly didn't either. And then a year, a month, and a day, while I'm trying to get the grandchildren back, they arrest me for statutory sodomy and Grinder Greggy, $100,000 bond. Well, guess what? The bond for actually going ahead and murdering somebody, as of 2 months ago, in a bit of road rage, is $50,000. Essentially, coerced, lying, perjury is $100,000 against the enemies, and the whole idea was to keep me from making bond, so I would be railroaded, murdered in prison. I'll reveal that tape when I went ahead, and I got well, I have videotape made to where the people they were trying to get to say that said that here. It was altogether a plot. It was altogether a plot to go ahead and have me murdered for sodomy, for child molestation and for racism and murder in prison. But I have a solution, for Christina and Greggy Stremmel and all, and Kevin Lee Selby. I think if I go ahead and grab your children and torture them enough here, I bet that they will testify to something unbelievable. Like what? I know that they seen you going ahead and licking my granddaughter's nasty old crap. And then when we get around to it, that you were going ahead and kissing their penis and buttocks or whatever. Essentially, the same lie that you went ahead and went against me. But Christine Rhodes, I despise her more because she destroys white families. Next, Jared Thomas, Granby's crooked attorney, essentially city attorney. He's evil. What happens? He's so evil. I mean, usually making little soy faces here, the soylent grins, little monkey faces. Altogether evil. None too bright. What it boils down to is I'm the prosecuting attorney. I can do whatever I want to you. Well, no, you ain't that smart. Look, folks, any of you who are accused of, by the way, you don't have to give proof of insurance unless you've been involved in an accident. What you say, you just simply say is that, hey, I believe this is a lawful arrest. As far as failure to register, that's a Missouri Department of Revenue issue. How does it become a moneymaker for a corrupt municipal, corporation like Granby or Neosho or whatever? How did it go ahead and become the business of the Missouri Department of Revenue, which is supposed to go ahead and collect the revenue? Why are they licensed tax? Are they licensed tax officials? And the answer is no. Under color of law, they steal and they destroy the lives of the poor. Just like that woman I seen who had one of her kids taken. She was crying about it. She begged me, "Oh, could I have $250?" I said no. Because that $250 isn't really a bond. All it is essentially what you owe on, let me guess, failure to have insurance and failure to register a motor vehicle. I said, how do you know? I said, three quarters of you people are there. If I gave you a $250 fine, they wouldn't even care if you went back to the little cashier's court. They just go ahead and take that $250 quote bond and apply it to the fine. And I'd never see you, and I'd never see the money again. So, like I said before, for Division 2, Brian P. Stevenson is a corrupt fat Mexican or something. He's just a thief. He's not a hardened, I don't know if he's a hard criminal or not. He's not a baby stealer as far as I know, but maybe he'll become one here at Division 2. Third is this monster, Kevin Lee Selby, destroyed my family, essentially encouraged the death of my mother, has refused to obey the law, along with Timothy Perigo, current head of that, by obeying the law to get off my probate case, and I went ahead and sued him in federal court. Total monster. He's one of the ones who granted the temporary bogus restraining order. A monster. Thoroughly evil. There's nothing good or righteous about him. In fact, that he is a judge, a Republican judge, who simply tells you what the state of affairs are. Bill Rybold. I looked at him last night. He was sick. He looked like essentially a sack of potatoes that had been out in the rot too long. And when I said, is this Jared Thomas? Is he a relative of yours? It's my son-in-law. I said, I've seldom seen a more wicked and incompetent attorney than your son-in-law. He didn't know what to do. He's just simply a hiring. He's just simply a flunky that they poured money to for corporate agriculture business to go give what? License to farm. Essentially, to pollute. To go ahead and pollute with this, essentially captive animal farming. And pretty well stink up the place here. And now he's going to be Newton County presiding commissioner. Folks, this is really, Newton County is really going downhill. The clerk of the courts, Patty Kruger. I'm going to say she's about as good as you're going to get. She is occasionally, as best she can, has tried to help me. Way back when the grandchildren were taken, I was trying to get them back. Kevin Lee Selby would not sign the final order, so I could go ahead and make an appeal to go ahead and get the grandchildren back. Somehow she got his final judgment. She got him to sign the final judgment. That's how the corrupt appeals court avoids these corrupt trial courts, because these corrupt judges go ahead and some cases they refuse to sign the final judgment. And by refusing to do that, they deny you an appeal. And I think upon a revolutionary tribunal, that's exactly what we should do. Just simply oppose, essentially, torture and death upon these regime criminals, but refuse to go ahead and sign the final judgment, so they cannot make an appeal any more than they could against Iron Felix Kaczynski. This is the evil these people do. This is the evil these people do. But Patty Kruger, Steve White's, she was Paragon's secretary, and she got that final judgment. Didn't do a bit of good. Because what happens is that these lawyers, they claim failure to staying upon which relief can be granted, and they do their little monkey talk. They do their little dancing to where you cry that you want your children back, or you cry that you want to get out of prison because you're innocent or something like that. That's what these corrupt judges do. And really, they just should be skinned out. You know they're guilty. You know they deserve to die. You know that things aren't going to get better until they're gone. She did go ahead, and she has, to the limited extent that is possible, she has helped me out. I'm not going to vote for her, but I'm not going to oppose her either. For Recorder of Deeds, unopposed. I'm not even going to mention that person's name. I don't know her. Clerk of the County Commission, McKay Baum. For 24 years, she's been a pretty honest one here. Sometimes she has even allowed me to run a non-lawyer for judge. I've had to sue her a couple times, but it's never been personal. But you have this Tammy Renfro Owens, essentially a professional wannabe politician. I certainly wouldn't vote for her. This Dawnette Osborne Burnett, she works at the county clerk's office. She makes a big deal about that. Dana Eads. She works for Jake Scobie. I think she's a nice person. Don't really matter. Prosecuting attorney Jake Scobie. He went ahead and continued. He went ahead and continued after Scott Watson came up, essentially went along the Newton County Railroad. He did go along. He let Bill Dobbs run wild. Bill Dobbs is evil too, a juvenile officer. Everyone who's a juvenile officer is evil because his job is to destroy white people, especially white people. In fact, that's what our form of government is designed to do, is to destroy our people. That's why you have falling birth rates. That's why you have a non-white next generation coming up. That's why we will be minorities in our own land. Let me just tell you what's going to go ahead and destroy the white race. What's happening now? What's going to save the white race essentially is an overthrow or rebellion in favor of warlords. So Jacob Scobie did go ahead and give me, Monday after I got bailed out, he did go ahead and give me that bogus, violation of protection order. And pretty well, that's what Jacob Kelly, Granby Chief of Police, does. Hey, I can go ahead and arrest Lindstedt whenever I want. If we get enough of this stuff here, we'll have a felony. Jacob Kelly is married to essentially an evil bitch who steals white children. She's another professional baby stealer. I'm glad that they have children because that means that their children can be tortured and destroyed. And they can learn what it is to go ahead and do against the people. Jacob Scobie did go ahead and let me see. I don't know if he's going to go ahead and prosecute. If he does, Jacob Scobie, when I was suing Newton County, the Corporal Orrin Barnes telling my brother he could go ahead and murder my mother and embezzle her estate here. Jacob Scobie didn't have brain power enough. Didn't have brain power enough to go ahead and deal with the federal case. So they went ahead and hired Blanchard Mitchell, and Blanchard Mitchell went ahead and wrote their little nonsense here and got dismissed. I don't know if Jacob Scobie is going to want to go ahead and essentially do this, but if he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. There will be one hell of a thing to pay. So as far as Jacob Scobie, I'm not going to vote for him. That'll be it. Collector of Revenue, Jim Odie. Jim Odie has always been polite to me. I bought this place, Roxy's mom's place for $15,000. It's worth $30,000. He has never gone against me saying hey, it's not worth $45,000. It might by now, though. He's never gone against me. He went ahead and said no, he's not going to go ahead and collect on these bogus liens for mowing or anything else here. He's not going to go ahead and collect on these unconstitutional tax liens. So, I'm going to go ahead and give Jim Odie a pass. Broader, Charlotte Walker Ward. Don't know her. Well, that's why they're so arrogant. Newton County is essentially a one-party county. If you go ahead and win the Republican primary, essentially you're going to be because idiots vote for them around here. I don't know why. Like I said before, white men don't let Whiggers vote Republican. Proposition A. It's essentially about not allowing unions to force non-union members to join a union and pay union dues if they don't want to. The corporate Republicans are for it. Normally I'd be against it, but I think this is a good thing. I will vote yes on Proposition A. Although I do not trust the corporate Republicans. Okay. State Representative, 159th District. 2 characters running. Don't know either one of the two. Don't really care. State Representative, 162nd District. Don't know either one of the two. Don't really care. Very last one here. State Representative, 160th District. Raleigh Drew Ritter. I actually like him. But he has essentially the mindset of a, quote, Republican. Went ahead, he has a little lick of white hair. It's just a little patch of white hair. And last night I said, why don't you dye that? Is it natural? He said, yes, natural. I said, why don't you dye it? Because from a distance, you look like a skunk. Or that guy who was in Great Outdoors here who kept getting hit by lightning. You look like a skunk from a distance. He said, I'll dye my hair if you shave the other left part of your beard. I says, this is not an affectation here. He says, yeah, I know that is a protest by you here. And I said, it's not really a protest. It's a sign to Josh Hawley and Kevin Lee Selby and Gregory Stremmel and Christine Rhodes. Essentially, it's a sign to them that the days will come when you and your family will be plucked out like a tear and burnt and sent screaming to hell. But for now, the poor and weak plight people who have no shepherd, who have no leader, at least not yet. You are being badly treated. You are the ones who are being shaved. You are the ones who are being fleeced. Day will come when the tares and the goats, they and theirs will be plucked out and destroyed by the wrath which is to come. Ben Baker went ahead and handed him a letter about their crooked little deal to force people to clean up their yards by having a bogus tax lien against them. And I went ahead and pointed this letter to where I told this company, cleanup company, they got $3,900 of Granby money. You may not get paid, and you might get sued. Because what they did, it was just another piece of crap legislation passed by, T. Rampage Gamble and the rest of the idiots on the city council with the connivance of Jared Thomas. Did you read the letter? Yeah. So what do you think of it? Oh, I haven't made a decision yet. I'm pouring out that this is just nothing more than Granby corruption. And guess what? He's getting a lot of money. He is getting a lot of money. I asked Raleigh Ritter, how much do you get for being a state rep nowadays? Way back when, it used to be $25,000. Now it's up to $37,000. Raleigh Ritter said, well, I have to take a pay cut. Well, why do you want the job? He couldn't say. Ben Baker, he gets paid quite a bit by these plutocrat Republicans. Gets paid quite a bit. Why do you want this job? Can't answer, but Ben Baker, he knows why he wants it. Just like on the Granby City Council here, city councilman and a crooked mayor can, hey, make the better part of $300,000 here from buying buildings for new police stations. No telling what you can get here on the very lower rung. And folks, if you win state senator or state representative, chances are you will have another 8 years, total of 8 years before your term limit is out. That's why we have this cycle in Southwest Missouri. I think Ben Baker, Mayor of Neosho, I think he's a lying weasel. I think he's simply a money bag. But let me tell you, the most clever thing was from David Osborne. I'll probably have Roxy vote for David Osborne. David Osborne said, I'm the only candidate who has spent less than $2,000 of my own money, and nobody else has given me any money. So as a result, here I spent less than $2,000 of my own money, to get a job in the government. So since nobody's paid me any money, and I haven't wasted a whole bunch of my own, I'm willing for everybody from the 160th district to go ahead and call me and tell me what they want. And if I'm not out too much, I might give it to you. Now folks, this is what I call constituent service. He said he wants a government job which pays $37,000. It's a nice supplement for him working on the farm. And what happens since he's only spent $2,000, less than $2,000 of his own money and nobody else has given him? Well, hey, you have a better chance of being heard by what? David Osborne than you do anybody else. Ain't that such a good deal? So possibly, Roxy got a Republican ballot. I refuse to get a primary ballot for any party because I'm not allowed to run as a Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, or Constitution Party because I'm a white supremacist. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm running as a write-in candidate, and I intend to sue the state of Missouri, essentially open the ballot in the general election. Pretty well say, what difference, why even bother to have primary elections? Essentially, it's the party bosses which go ahead and buy the nomination like they do with that corporate Republican, Josh Hawley, or with Rob O'Brien, or with Ben Baker. Why bother? Why bother? Even bother holding a primary party? Just hold a general election and let anybody who wants to run, and let any political party run. And I'm thinking of the name for my political party. I think I'll call it the National Socialist or the National Fascist. I'm not quite sure which. And it will have a flag which shows exactly what we stand for. 13 blood red dripping stripes, a red circle on a blue field, and a swastika with 13 stars and bars. People know exactly what it stands for. But I wanted to go ahead, pretty well, as part of the greater Granby Common Turpentine. I want you to know, going through the Republican Party ballot, the way I think you should vote if you're white and you have white children that you love very much. I don't want them bought or sold. I don't want your First Amendment so-called rights. By the way, Austin Peterson said, I was a little bit taken by Austin Peterson. He said, go ahead and ask, what are rights guaranteed by? And they say the Constitution. He says, no, they were given to you before the Constitution. And he was implying it was God. I had my friend next door to me named Francis. He said it was by God. And I said, well, then Yahweh was remiss here yesterday when I was arrested, my quote First Amendment rights were arrested. I was arrested. Well, God didn't have anything to do with it. And the answer to that is true. God does not give you natural rights here. What God should have given you, or Yahweh should have given you, was a set of balls where you're not a cowardly chicken shit. Where you're not a cowardly, oh, by the way, here comes the pigs. Where you're not a cowardly chicken shit. So that when they go ahead and steal your children, or throw you in jail, so when the time comes, you can go ahead and maim and torture and enslave the criminals who claim to rule over you, and teach them here that it'd be a better thing to be ruled by law than be ruled by a military dictatorship. But that's the way it's going to be. Folks, Yahweh didn't give you any constitutional rights. Yahweh didn't give you really anything other than maybe he should have given you a set of balls to where you were, and a brain to go ahead and see through lying chicken shit. And go ahead and destroy anybody who dares mess with your family or mess with your life or liberty and property. You'll go ahead and destroy them and listen to them scream as you send them and their families to hell. If Patrick Henry was alive, he wouldn't say, "Give me liberty or give me death." He'd say, "Leave me alone, you spawn of Satan, or I shall send you screaming to hell." So anyway, this is Pastor Martin Lindstedt of the Church of Jesus Christ Christian Area Nation of Missouri and the Greater Granby Common Turpentine, going through the Republican ballot and the sign of the times in Newton County. Until later, hail victory.